We are.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday to you all. We're a little early today, but we are kind of going on a little budget of time. But we have a great guest with us today, and you know my co-host here, Greg. And this is Jamie Wallace, and the name of her business is Get Smart for College. So Jamie, my first question to you is, how long have you been doing this?
So I went through the UCLA certificate program, which was 1.5 years, and I have worked as a college counselor since 2015. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
9 years now.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah.
And so, but how did you get started with such a unique business, you know? It's definitely a niche.
Yes, I was very much a volunteer in the schools. I did a lot of stuff when my son was in school. And then when he was going to college, I started helping him and a few of his friends look at the whole college scene. And I realized that there is so much misunderstanding and misinformation out there. Oh, you have to have a 4.8 to...
Right. People don't really know what they're getting into.
They have no
Especially
idea.
at that age, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I learned a lot helping my son, and then I saw the UCLA course, and I said, you know what? I'm going to take that, because if I'm going to be a proper independent college counselor, I need to be trained. And that's why I got the UCLA certificate.
Okay.
And it's fun.
Okay. So walk us through exactly what it is that you do.
Well, as an independent college counselor, my job is to help a family who has a kid going to college, or they're worrying about things before college, and I help answer their questions. For the kids, for the rising juniors, I help them pick out colleges that would be a good fit for them, both financially and educationally.
Okay.
And they have to research them. They have work to do. Then I also help them with the essays, understanding what the colleges are looking for, because colleges are looking for something in particular in the college essays, and we go through the whole essay process, depending on how many they have.
What do you think you mentioned the questions? What do you think are the most common questions that they ask before?
Well, there are 7 questions on the Common App, and there are you have to answer 4 on the UC. So they're actually set questions, but what the kids get wrong are, I should write about that I'm the most wonderful 17-year-old in the whole world, and I saved the narwhals, and if I didn't save the narwhals, then I'm useless.
That'll get you ready. Yeah,
And
right.
that's not true. I mean, one of my favorite essays was about a girl who, by the end of the summer, finally learned how to tie the knot on a bakery box.
Huh.
And it showed everything about her, because what they're looking for is they're looking for your character and your character traits and your personality. And they know you're 17.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
So on average, do you work with someone for like a year, or how long is that time frame?
Well,
you're getting them ready.
Right. It depends, because I can go as far back. I'm perfectly happy to talk to folks in middle school and elementary school and tell them not to worry.
Save lots of money.
By the time that they're getting into high school, I like to leave them alone as 9th graders, because they're just figuring out, what's going on. For a sophomore, I would give them some information about testing and things like that. And then I really like to work with what's called a rising junior.
Okay.
And so the second half of junior year is when I really love to have students, because we have time to do the research on the colleges, and maybe they can go visit them. And then we have time for the essays.
So the first part of your job is to really meet the child, meet the kid, and so you're doing a one-on-one interview just with the kid?
Well, usually the way that the folks like to do it, because believe it or not, the parents do pay me. Gotta get those parents on board. I usually meet with the family. If the kid's there, that's absolutely fine. I'll meet with the parents and I'll explain what I do and what my philosophy is about how I'm doing it and why I'm doing it. And then I always tell them if the kid isn't there, could you set up a meeting so that we could talk? Because if the kid isn't comfortable talking to me and feels that I have their best interests at heart,
Right.
then
Yeah,
it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you think, I mean, when I was in high school, it wasn't until 12th grade where I even started thinking about college. I mean,
Yes.
You know, you're dealing with juniors, which is
Yeah.
pretty rare.
Life has gotten much more complicated.
You think?
Yes. The earliest of the early action, early decision deadlines is actually October 15th, and that's for Georgia Tech. And
Okay.
then the main one is November 1st.
So that's in your junior year?
No,
that's in your senior year?
that's during your senior year.
Okay.
So you apply to college when you are a senior. In August, just before the beginning of your senior year, is when you get to start having fun, filling out applications.
Right, you get to start doing the fun stuff.
So if you just joined, we're talking with Jamie Wallace, who is getting your kids ready for college. And the name of her business is Get Smart for College. And we're learning all about this unique and very niche profession that she has chosen. And we do have some questions. How far in advance do you suggest kids start working with you? Again.
Well, some of it has to do with how anxious the kids and the family are, because one of my claims to fame is I relieve anxiety one family at a time.
Okay.
And I've had a lot of conversations on the phone where by the end of it they're going, oh, I feel so much better. So I would love to talk to kids anywhere along the line. The most work when I would be meeting them every 2 weeks would be the second half of junior year, the summer between junior and senior year, or I sometimes get kids coming to me in senior year and they say, okay, I need to do my application. It's like, okay. So off we go.
So the next question here is, do you help with ACT and SAT, and is that still relevant?
Was it ever?
Well, personally, I don't believe it was ever relevant
Yeah,
because I was a very mediocre test taker.
Me too.
But I graduated in the top 10% of my law school because I'm a recovering attorney. So I don't think the
She always
test.
says it like that.
You seem to be doing well.
Yeah, thank you. The tests don't show your intelligence; they show your ability to take that test. So I do not do test prep. That's something that I know I'm not an expert in, but I do advise kids about when they should be taking the ACT or the SAT and which one they might like more. My son definitely liked the ACT more than the SAT. And basically it's after they finish Algebra 2. Mm-hmm. That is, and sometimes the kids in calculus by then, and they've forgotten all the geometry and algebra.
Wow. Yeah,
So,
that happens. In
yeah.
real life, there's no such thing as algebra, so you forget about it after a while.
Well, and also some kids are just, or some people, I should say, are just so good at taking a test, and some people are really bad at taking a test.
I was terrible at
They freeze
taking
up,
tests.
you know. So it's, I don't know, tests don't really, to me,
Well,
show anything.
So what happened with the pandemic and a whole bunch of the schools, almost all of them, the colleges went test optional, which meant that if you scored really high, send in your results. Mm-hmm. If you didn't score really high, don't.
Oh, so you still take it? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought it was they just stopped.
So
Okay.
I was still advising kids to take the test if they could get in. For the first couple of years of the pandemic, nobody could get in. It was impossible to get a seat. So during this time, the school stayed test optional for a couple of years, and then they started sliding back into saying, oh, well, we need some sort of an independent metric that we can look at, and we're test optional, or we require the test, which is like Georgia Tech requires the test. If you want to go there,
you gotta take a test.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And one good thing is let them take it the first time without a lot of prep, see how they do.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
can still get familiar with it. Right?
Exactly.
And then, okay.
How
Exactly.
many times can you take it?
Well, you can take it as many times as your parents want to pay for it.
Ah, okay.
But I wouldn't do that because it's useless. If you and the test material don't jive, like me, because I'm thinking outside the box and the questions are a box. And if A is true, then this is true. If B is true, then so if the more creative a thinker you are, the harder it is to do well on a standardized test.
You can't do it by 2 or 3 after a couple of tries. You're not
Yeah,
going to
there's
do it.
no point in flagellating, hitting yourself, because taking it the second time, most kids, if they've done a little bit of prep, and like my son had to go back and learn algebra and geometry, they will only go up between 50 and 100 points. And that's not enough if your first test is down in the 1100s or below.
Don't send that one in. Yeah. All right.
So we have a couple more questions. One is, do you help them with their essays? And what separates you from other people who do this?
Wow.
Thank you for the questions, you guys. And if you have more, keep them coming.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's great. If you just joined, we're talking to Jamie Wallace with Get Smart for College. So trying to help your kids get to a good college is important, but here's someone who does this for a living and helps you get there.
So I do help them with their essays, but I am very strong believer in the ethic of our profession is that the kid has to write the essay. It's the kid's story, it's the kid's presentation of themselves. So I will talk to them about what they're looking for in this particular question, and we will have brainstorming sessions talking about what they could write about if they're not quite sure. Like for the UCs, you have to do 4 separate questions. So I will get them into the. We actually don't do a first draft until we've talked 4 or 5 times, and by then they know. They understand what. Yeah.
Right, okay.
Then they write it, and I will comment on it, and then as long as it gets to a point where they feel that it's complete, and I feel that it says what the kids want to say.
Sure.
What makes me different?
That was a good question.
Very good, whoever.
It turns out that when I did a presentation on the University of California application, the office of the president of the UCs was listening in, and about 2 days after it was aired, we got a letter from the office of the president, and I'm, oh dear, what did I do? And it turned out the only things that they were upset about is that I said every kid, there's a college for every kid.
Huh.
And that they had a little bit of a problem with that. So I'm really good with the UC PIQs, which is personal insight questions.
Why do you think they had a problem?
Yeah, what was the problem?
Because they didn't want it to be. Well, and I also said that you don't have to write about tragedy and death. And they said, well, you really shouldn't mention that. But that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, fortunately, not all of us have had major things
And
by
at
the
that
time you're
age,
17.
when you're 17 years old, yeah, it's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah. So what sets me apart is I proceed in a very calm manner, and I'm always available to quiet their fears and answer questions. And get them to come down off the ceiling, because that's where most of them climb.
That's where they are.
Yes.
Okay.
We got more questions for you. Have you worked with multiple siblings in the same household?
I haven't. Well, actually, one of my first clients were twins. They ended up at
2 for
Sonoma.
1.
They ended up at Sonoma State.
They pay twice, just out of curiosity.
I have to balance what the bill is.
Yeah, it's per student, right? Because she has to do
Just
the
make
double
sure.
work.
Well, no. If there are 2 kids, I have worked with younger siblings of students that have gone on to Berkeley, and then the younger one thinks they want to go to Berkeley, and then we work about it. And they ended up going to Berkeley.
Did the twins go to the same school?
They both ended up at Sonoma. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And they were very happy.
Okay.
Cool.
It really worked well for them. So, if I have helped a sibling in the past, we will talk about a slight discount because this is second time and you've come back to me, which I really appreciate.
So if you just joined, we're talking to Jamie Wallace, and her business is called Get Smart for College, and we're talking about prepping kids and getting them into the college they want, what they need. She does all of that for you, so you take out all the guesswork and you're sure to get into where you want to go.
Yeah, parents can step back.
Yeah. So we got more questions. How important are extracurricular activities? That's one question. And what is your success rate in getting kids into the top 5 colleges of their choice? Great questions.
Well, that's an interesting way to put it. I'm going to answer the second one first. I have 100% success rate of getting kids into a college that they love as freshmen.
Wow.
It's not necessarily the one that they were thinking about, but it's one that I kind of think, this kid would be really good. So
you're sort of a matchmaker.
Ayento. Sure.
You're matching the child to a college
well,
that you're familiar.
The thing that's so important to understand is that there's about 50 colleges out there, the Princetons, the Dukes, the MITs, all that stuff, who are really, 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 really highly selective. So this many people apply and only this many get in, so their acceptance rates are in the single digit or the low double digits. UC at this point is at 10%. UCLA is at 10%. Yeah, they've gotten more and more, and I won't explain why because that's a whole other thing.
I've heard it before, yeah.
But there are 2,400 colleges, so if you want to apply to one of the reaches, and you've got the grades or the whatever for it, go ahead. But that is a reach, and they have to have a balanced list where they have a couple of target schools they're very likely to get into, 3 or 4 schools that there's a good 50-50 chance, and then if they want to do a reach or a wild card, which is for anybody single digits, they can. I hope they'll just do one, or if they really want to work on it on their own time, I will help them. But it's really important to realize that there is a college out there for everyone.
Yeah.
But we just don't know about it.
And it's encouraging for everyone too, because we think they might not get into something, and may not get into college at all.
But having someone like her
exactly
gives people a little bit more of an idea that even colleges that they didn't know existed or that they didn't think about, So it's great to have someone professional who is been down the road and knows of all the colleges.
Right.
It's a great opportunity for that kid to make sure that they get to where they want to go.
And it can also point, as you said, in the right direction. They may start with one idea and then end up 100 miles the other way.
Oh yes, and the second part of it was about extracurriculars, how important it's quality, not quantity. So if you
maybe just like one.
Well, if you are in the rowing team and you row every single weekend, and after school you're training, you don't have time, and they understand that you don't have time.
Good point.
So with certain athletic things, they don't really expect you to do a lot more out of that. Outside it, they're just looking to see what do you want to do when you're not studying, and do you stick with it? Because if you list 15 things and you've only done half a year here, 3 weeks there, that doesn't tell them anything at all. So you would only pick the extracurriculars that you got something out of and you enjoyed. And that's what's important.
I think a lot of kids, when they're graduating, they really don't know what they want to do yet.
Of course.
As far as what the career
They're so
could be.
young.
Right.
It's so young. You got to decide your whole future at 17. It's hard.
Oh yeah, no, I wanted to be a professional baseball player. I'm almost giving up. I'm pretty much.
Yeah.
Another year, one more year. But do the colleges? They're not concerned with that at all, right? Because they know that you're.
Well, not true, because I think some colleges don't let you change your major.
Once you get in.
Yes,
you're in,
there are a few colleges out there like Cal Poly.
Yeah, that's where my daughter went.
San Luis Obispo, where they make it very difficult. You actually have to apply to the major, but the thing is, you start working in the major as a freshman. So you're already into it, as opposed to getting the the basic classes and then jumping in as a
That's
senior.
interesting. Okay, that changes it.
But everywhere else, you can apply on Declare.
Yeah.
If you really don't know.
You don't.
If you're a STEM kid, look in the STEM area. If you're an arts kid, look in the arts. If you love English, history, sociology, poli-sci, that's what you want to look for. And usually you can change your majors. The vast majority of colleges, they want you to choose your major by the end of your sophomore year, so that you go into your junior year saying, okay, I'm an upperclassman now, I'm going to focus on classes within my major.
Awesome.
So
we have one more question here still. What was your most challenging experience with a student?
Okay, let me think about that one for a second.
I'm sure
I don't want to tell that one.
Okay. You just pick a favorite.
Yeah.
We get it.
So I did work with a young man who was the younger brother of just outstandingly brilliant kid. And this outstandingly brilliant kid ended up being accepted at Berkeley, and that is where he went. So I get the younger son, and he's kind of saying, yeah, well, I kind of wear his hand-me-downs, and, my brother's so smart, and, I don't know, I'm just not all that interesting. And that was our first conversation. I'm going, whoa! By the end of it, he had written an essay about being a saxophone shredding robotics master. Because that's what he did. He stayed he did jazz at the high school. Then he got into robotics. He took all the classes, and he also ended up at Berkeley in that department. So
wonderful.
It's finding your story. Everyone's got a story.
Yeah.
So that was fun watching him.
That's really nice.
So he thought he was the younger, not so smart brother that ended up at the same.
Right.
He had all the the right preparation to be going to a school that is that difficult academically, and there's a lot of pressure.
Wow. So right now in the summer, you're not really working with too much with the kids that are coming up as juniors. You're going to start working with them in October.
Well, no, the thing that people get really tired of is the counselor will always say it depends. Because if I've got a kid who wants to apply early action where the deadline is November 1st, and they want to apply to the UCs where the deadline is November 30th, we've got a minimum of 5 essays to get done. Minimum, because the other schools may have supplemental essays. So sometimes I work with kids over the summer, and we try to get the essays done, but in truth, the kids need the time off.
Summer, sure.
Yeah.
I get it. I wouldn't want it.
And I'm fine with that. And I listen to, we're going to start at the end of July. Okay. And then I wait and I talk to them in August.
Okay. Okay. Because I was wondering, since you had mentioned those time frames, so that's okay. So August is 2 months, 3 months for them to get things going. Is there a website?
Yes. So, luckily enough, I was thinking of Get Smart, the original, not the movie. And I do own a 1958 Triumph TR3A.
She
You have
does.
a phone
It's
booth that
very
goes
cool.
with
No, I don't have the phone booth or the shoes.
You can find that at the Culver City Car Show.
That's right.
That's where she always is.
10 months from now.
my website is getsmart4 college.com. My email, by the way, is getsmart4college@gmail.com.
Okay.
And
we'll try to put that
We'll
into
put
the
that
link
in,
as well. And I did tag Get Smart for College page, and I tagged Jamie. So if you guys are watching this on the rerun, we're live right now, but if you're watching it on the rerun, you can still ask questions, and she'll answer, or I'll answer, or somebody will answer you guys. And if you have a child that you want to connect with Jamie to get them started, please do. She's fabulous. And let me tell you, she's very involved in a lot of the other things that are going on around our city. And I can vouch for her writing abilities because she's a really good writer. And she really does have a lot of patience and lots of good knowledge. So I can see why this position of what she's taken on to do would be a great thing for her. I know she says that she's a recovering attorney, and that's not what she wants to do, but definitely is very passionate about this. So
I wish you were around when I.
Yeah,
me
I
too.
really do.
I get
really
that
do.
a lot.
Me
I
too.
get that a lot.
It would have made it a lot of
Yeah,
difference.
in the middle of the kids in college. Oh God, I wish I'd talked to you first. The one other thing is that in addition to college counseling, I'm available for, let's do college and cocktails. Let's sit down
I love that.
and, I will ask you for a fee, and we can sit down and you can ask me the questions that you have, because none of us knew what the heck we were getting into. And it changes every year, which makes life interesting. So if anyone is interested in a seminar, and I'm contemplating doing an online class, so keep an eye on Get Smart. The Facebook page doesn't have very much on it, but my website does.
Okay.
Well, we'll fix that. So I'm curious. What do you think is the easiest college to get into besides like a junior college?
Well,
are there private colleges that might be a little easier?
So this is the thing. Let's take, for example, the college my son went to. He went to a small liberal arts college in southern Wisconsin, and they accept around 56% of the applicants. But they are looking for something special. They're looking for someone who wants to learn and who has intellectual curiosity. So they'll take a kid with a GPA down to 2.8, 2.6.
As long as they want to be there. And
they see the promise.
Yeah.
They read the essay, they see the promise.
I think that's great. I think that's very fair.
Yeah, so I mean, if you have under a 3.0, it's harder to find schools, but they are there. If you have a 3.0, the Cal States are all wonderful,
Sure.
and you should definitely think about them. And it's just developing a good balanced list.
You also
That's the
mentioned
key.
Changes. I mean, how do you keep up with the changes? Because today is not the same as it was 20 years ago.
No, or 10 years ago.
Or 5 years, yeah.
Yeah, so what I do is I go to college counseling conferences. There's one in Los Angeles. It's from NACAC, which is the National Association of College Admissions Counselors, I think. Then there's HECA. I don't know. So I go to conferences. I tour colleges, either by myself or with a group, because I need to know what the college is like if I'm going to tell a kid about it. And I do a lot of reading. I read a lot of educational journals, and I'm also on a listserv for college counselors, and we kind of keep each other up to date.
That's awesome.
So you're aware of trends and all that as things change.
Yes.
So another question that I have is, what is the most expensive college?
Let's see. I think SC is 97.
Wow.
And we're probably going to see somebody go up to 100,000 pretty soon.
Wow.
And that's going to be your Ivies. It's going to be SC because they can. Duke, Vanderbilt. The colleges that don't have to attract people.
Right.
People are running toward them.
Is there a money back guarantee? Like if you don't
Sorry.
So many back guarantees.
But if you do put in a deposit and then get off the wait list during the summer after decision day and May 1st, you can just forego your deposit and go to the other school.
So for those of you who are watching that have younger kids that are going to be thinking about college, call Jamie. I've had her tagged on here. Call her, email her, go to her website, and her business is called Get Smart for College, and that's her website as well. And you can find out more information to get yourself prepped and ready for sending your child off to college. And if you're a grandparent and you're watching, this is another great, thing that you can possibly pass on to your children to pass on to theirs, right? It's not a bad idea. Okay, so anything else you want them to know before we sign off?
I think just my business motto, which is relieving anxiety one family at a time. That
Love
is
it.
the core. That's
Love
the
it.
core of what I do.
Yeah, because there's a lot of anxiety when your child is getting ready for college, just to even which college to apply to. Is this the right major for me? Is this,
And
you know?
so much misinformation out
Yeah.
there, and your friends are talking, and their kids are talking, and
Yeah, there's a lot
don't
going
listen
on.
to your friends.
Stay away.
Listen to Jamie instead.
Just her.
Okay, so if you are watching on the rerun, remember you can still ask questions and Jamie will still be able to answer you. And get in touch with her. She's great, okay? Thanks for watching, everyone.
Thanks,
Hope you all
everybody.
have a great weekend.
Thank
Have
you.
a good weekend. Thank you.